Welcome to LFA's video on changing your RTP9 tooling. Knowing how to change your tooling is extremely important when it comes to using a tablet press. This method will use the tools that come with the RTP9, although there's a fast way by removing the turret, which we will cover in another video. First, we're going to remove the perspex shield to give us easier access to the upper punches. We're first going to remove the hopper with a 5mm Allen key. These bolts also adjust how close your hopper is to the turret table. If your powder isn't flowing fast enough, release the bolt slightly to raise the hopper from the table. If your hopper is releasing powder too fast, adjust the hopper so it's closer to the turret table. Next, we're going to free the perspex case by releasing the 4 5mm Allen key bolts on the top. Once this is done, you'll simply be able to lift off the case. Now remove the fill tray. We're going to do this by undoing the feeder tray thumb bolts. Slot an Allen key through the holes on the bolt to break them, then undo by hand. Once undone, the feeder tray will be free. We now have access to the upper punches. To allow us to remove them, we first need to remove the upper tracking key. Rotate the turret so the punches are not on top of it. Taking a 4mm Allen key, undo the bolt and remove the keyed section. Now rotate the turret using the hand turning wheel and remove the upper punches from where the key was. To remove the lower punches, we first need access to the bottom section of the machine. Take the 2 keys that come with the RTP9 and place them in the slots on the side panel and turn. This will release the panel. Next, we push the small puck up and take it out. This will allow us to lower the punches out through the bottom. Now gently pull the punch down through the hole, being sure you're holding it firmly so that it doesn't fall and get damaged. As with the upper punches, we now rotate the turret by hand using the hand wheel to the next station and remove the punch from there, and continue this till all the punches have been removed. Finally, we need to remove the dies from the turret. First, we remove the grub nuts which secure the dies in place using a 6mm Allen key. Next, to push the dies up and out of the turret, we need to use the 3-bar set which comes with your RTP9. Take the shortest of the bars and slot it up through the hole you remove the lower punches from. Now place the medium-sized bar flat inside the RTP9 like this, and then slot the largest of the bars behind the smallest one, which creates a lever to push out the dies. Take a rubber mallet and carefully hit the lever bar to push out the die. Rotate the turret by hand and repeat the process till you removed all the dies. Now we're going to put our new tooling in the machine. First, we start with the dies. When reinserting the dies, we suggest putting a small amount of food-safe assembly grease around the edge of the die, which will assist in placing the new tooling in and removing it later. Take your die and line it up with the die hole on the turret. It's extremely important this goes in straight, otherwise it may potentially damage your tooling and machine. Insert the drive bar through the upper punch guide hole, lightly press down on the die to ensure it's straight. Lightly tap down on the die to start to drive it down into the die hole. You want to ensure that the die is flush with the turret. Run your finger across the top, it needs to be completely flush. Reinsert the grub nut we removed earlier. Do not over tighten it, as we will tighten with a torque wrench to ensure it's correct. Using a torque wrench, we will tighten it to 14 foot-pounds. Before reinserting your punches, we suggest putting some barrel lubrication around the barrel of your punches. Now we can start to insert our lower tooling. When doing this, we need to be careful with the tips of the punches as they're fragile. Take a punch and insert it through the lower hole carefully and up into your die. Whilst doing this, rotate the machine by hand slowly whilst being careful with your fingers. Turn it to the next station and repeat the process till all the punches are in place. On your final punch, push it up higher to reinsert the puck to ensure the lower punches won't fall out. After doing this, do a couple of full rotations by hand to see if the punches are running smoothly. At this point you can put your feeder tray back on, although this can be done after also. Now we can start inserting the top punches through the keyed section whilst turning the hand wheel so the upper tooling runs along the top tracking. It's important you hold the tooling head above the tracking so that it doesn't fall like this, otherwise you will damage the tracking. Once all your tooling is in place, rotate the hand wheel so the keyed section is between the two punches and reinsert the key and tighten with a 4mm Allen key. You can now replace your perspex shield and hopper. Once all your tooling is in place, it's important to run the machine by hand before turning it on. For more information, products and guides, please visit www.lfatabletpresses.com.